Here, we want to introduce you to a stand-up comic who is making people listen up. Abby Stonehouse is originally from Howick, now based in Montreal, and she's doing something to make sure that stand-up can be accessible for people with hearing disabilities. And she joins us. Hello.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Welcome to the studio. It's great to have a guest.
Yes, I've been told that very few people come to the studio, but I was very, very happy to come.
We don't bite, right?
No, not at all.
Okay, thank you for
Not yet,
confirming
at
that.
Not yet, at least. So, Abby, tell us about your own personal journey with hearing loss. Is that something that happened when you were a kid, or?
No. I mean, I've been affected by hearing loss my entire life. My dad has severe hearing loss. My grandmother had severe hearing loss. When I was in my mid-20s, I started to realize that I was struggling a lot to hear in environments. I was in university at the time. I was sitting in front of the class, struggling. I would avoid go to social situations because it was so hard. So I had to give myself a reality check at the time and get tested. And then at the time I was told I had a moderate hearing loss and fitted with 2 hearing aids. And from there, it was a big transitional period, but I really embraced it. And I don't love my hearing loss, but I really embraced it, and it really has helped me to, re-engage in the world. And I don't think I'd be doing stand-up comedy if I didn't, start putting hearing aids in my ear and engage and go to shows and hear the comedians that I love so much.
So the hearing loss could have been an obstacle on your way to doing what you love today, which is making jokes.
I think so, because at the time, I just stopped going out. I stopped going to social outings because it was just so hard for me to hear, and with the background noise and to talk to other people. Certainly wouldn't be able to hear comics on stage without my hearing loss. So, yeah.
So that's quite a bold move. And then if we fast forward to 2019, quite a bold move to end up being on the stage doing comedy, given that situation, because it could really go the other way. It can be very isolating and limiting, I imagine. Oh,
absolutely. I see, or I've worked with a lot of people that have hearing loss, and they really isolate themselves because it's so hard. I mean, we use our hearing for everything, right? So if you don't learn the management skills to move through the world, that it could be very, very challenging.
And particularly in comedy, I would think. And then that's why we're so interested to hear what you have to say about this, because then as we fast forward to 2019, you were headlining the city's first ever hearing accessible comedy show. Access Comedy. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So in 2019, I wasn't headlining, but I collaborated with a local not-for-profit here in Montreal. They're called Hear Quebec, and they support people that are affected by hearing loss. And because I was a stand-up comic at a time and I was working with them, I decided to kind of put my 2 passions together, accessibility and stand-up comedy, and we put together a fully accessible show. And so that had wheelchair accessibility, it had closed captionings, it had ASL interpretation, and other accessible devices in place, and also sighted guides for people with visual impairment. So they really tried to cover all the bases, and I performed, and we got a really big name comedian that come to town that has hearing loss as well, DJ Damaris. So that was the first collaboration with that show, and it was a great success, and it has grown to be Access Comedy, and it's a fundraising event for this not-for-profit. They had another show in the fall that was both French, and there was a French show and English show, and then we just had one with ZooFest, collaborating with ZooFest, so off JFL on Sunday, which was an amazing experience. So it's growing.
Is there more of an approach for this for other forms of entertainment as well? Because I know that at the Siegel Center, for instance, they'll have a show during the run where there'll be interpretation, ASL interpretation. So is there a shift that we're seeing?
I definitely think there is a shift, and it starts with people just talking about it, people with disabilities talking about it, just trying to make producers, art producers, or any person that is a decision maker, just try to understand a disability. I find hearing loss is very misunderstood. You don't really always understand what accessibility measures look like for that. And it's just all about talking about it. And what I love with what Here Quebec is doing is that they're just leading by example. They're not like standing on a soapbox with like chanting like we need this. They're just like look at what we're doing. It can be inclusive, and it's not that complicated. And they love to talk to people about it, and I love to talk to people about it. So it's just about art is a very great way to educate people.
Do you make jokes about your hearing loss?
I definitely make jokes about my hearing loss. I'm incapable of talking about anyone but myself. So hearing loss is part of me. It like definitely affects my day-to-day life. So I definitely have jokes about my hearing loss. Yeah.
I guess it wouldn't be as fun if that was off limits.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure like I try not to offend anyone. I would never like say an offensive joke about my disability, but like there are funny moments that happen with my hearing loss for sure. And there are certain things that, like I don't hear in the world, and I'm happy that I don't hear.
What reaction do you get from people that haven't been able to go to comedy in a long time, or maybe never?
Yeah, I mean, I've had an excellent feedback. I mean, there's a lot of people that come up to me. I mean, especially after the show on Sunday, like I just didn't think it was an option for me to include myself in a stand-up show. So it just didn't go. We just put it out there, and they loved it, and it's been a really, really positive response.
Mm-hmm. Abby, I want to know where we can find you so we know when you're performing next, and also how can we find out more about the hearing shows? Yeah,
so if you follow Here Quebec on Instagram, Facebook, they have a website. They promote all over the place their shows. They will be having another one in the fall, so you guys have to stay tuned for that. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook. I have a website, abbystonehouse.com, and I link everything there.
You have a podcast as well, House of Stone, is that right?
Okay, yes, cool. I have a podcast, House of Stone, and that'll be we're doing a live recording of that for the Just for Laughs Festival this coming Sunday, which I'm super excited about. The podcast is also accessible. I just wanted to highlight that. So when I started this process of wanting to put together this podcast, I knew that the podcasting is not always inclusive for people that are deaf and hard of hearing. So I wanted to make a version of it accessible for them. So on my YouTube channel, it's filmed, it has ASL interpretation, and it has professional closed captioning for the episodes.
Fantastic.
So we find that on where?
So it's houseofstone.com, housestonepodcast.com. And there's a YouTube channel, a House of Stone podcast. It's very, very, very searchable.
Abby, thank you so much for coming in to tell us about this. You're doing really important work.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me.
And you're funny too.
Oh my gosh, thank you.